Okay, well, it's been several days since I've been on this project, mostly because of the weather and rain every day. But what I had done is I added a piece of wood here, and I took my rasp and rounded it off a little bit, so I can put my temporary ramp up here to push up the generator. I still have to get plywood for the sides. I got the plywood for the top, a 1/4 inch Luan, so I'm okay there. So let me show you what I've got over here on the bench. Alright, I got 2 pieces of plywood, 24 inches, and I got 2 of them, and they're 13 inches wide, so it gives me, well, one is 13 and one is 13 and a half. I got about 27 inches wide. The wheels for the generator are 25 inches, so it's going to be close, but that's plywood I had on hand. So we're going to make a mending plate here to mend these 2 up. And this is what it's going to be like. You'll come over here. There'll be 2 of these, of course, side by side, and it'll be a removable ramp. It will not stay here, and this enables me to come smooth from here right to here. No big lips to hit, because I got to push the generator up into here because the handle is at this end, the pull start is out at that end, so I got to push it up in there. And then when I'm done, the generator's in here, then I can take the ramp off and just store it. The ramp isn't that big. I can store it over here when there's no generator or whatever. Of course, I have to paint this with, this is not pressure treated, so I'll have to paint this with oil base. This is all pressure treated to protect it. So we're going to put this thing together now. We missed some of this on videotape. My cameraman was on vacation, but anyway, there's a piece of pressure treated 2x2 right here that I had a piece of scrap. This is a wheel stop so that the generator can only go to this point here. So what I'm doing is just nailing this into place, because I know there's going to be sides on here, but they're going to be a hinge sides. Okay, so what happens is, I'll show you. Now what this does is it enables me to push, and the generator is only going to hit as far as there. And then there's still a little room on the side. The pull rope is right here. Okay, so I can get out of here, I can get at everything here. Now when I get the rest of the wood, I release this handle, of course, when the generator's in place. The wood will come down, so it'll cover this. So from here down is about 12 inches. That'll be open, so air can get through there. There'll be a vent on each end. The wood will come down to about the top of the muffler here, at this point. But it's all going to be part of the cover. Okay, now if you come over here, off camera, unfortunately, here's what I did. This piece of jointed 2 pieces of plywood and 2 screws in here. This is how I did that ramp over there. I have to tighten these up yet. Drill a hole here, drill a hole here, and that just kind of like holds it into place. That's all. So, and then we pull the generator out like this. When you want to put it in, goes in and up. Alright, and naturally when it's running, we pull it out a little bit, but that block will keep us from going over the edge. And the exhaust will come out this end. So that's the method to my madness. So this here, now when we're done, we just take this ramp, we stick it in here, put the generator in the shed, lock it up, good to go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today? Well, today is another day, of course, and I had to go and get some plywood for the sides of this project here. I just painted it black to protect the edges of the wood and everything with black spray paint. But anyways, I had to get some, I've got the top, as I said, it's 1/4 inch Luan. So I had to go and went to Home Depot. They give you 2 free cuts on a 4x8 sheet. I had to cut 2 20-inch wide pieces. because I can't find the wood I need in the bargain bin. They don't have anything. There's slim pickings today. So we're going to make the sides out of, well, this is the 8-inch leftover, but I'm going to make the sides out of this, and I'm going to make the corners out of this corner bead here that they use for sheetrock. This is only like, I don't know, it's under $3. And that'll mend the pieces together on the corners for the sides, and it'll all be painted, of course. Over here I have a piece of 1/4-inch Luan that's almost, well, it's 4 feet one way and a little bit less the other way. I got this for $1 at Home Depot a few weeks back. That'll do the top. 48 this way, and 40 inches the other way. But I don't need 40 inches. I need the 48, but the other dimension I need less. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the top of this, square it off, and I'm going to put it over here. Now the dimension from here is going to be an overhang of about 5 inches here, be an overhang of about 6 inches there. That's the intake where the air cleaner is, the air filter. So it'll be 48. I'll leave the 48, and from here to here is 34 inches, and I'll leave an overhang of about 5 inches. Don't really need it any more than that. This whole thing will lift right up. So I got to get the dimensions cut for this, and then I'll come back on the video. The saw block I told you so many times about to adjust my cutting. I move my board, and then I get ready to clamp it. Makes it so much easier. Down. Just double check it before I run the saw through. Then all I gotta do is just take the saw and go right down the line. Ready to cut. Okay, I put some weight on the plywood to hold it down, because what I got to do is I got to draw a mark where I'm going to put the cleat to nail the 1/4-inch plywood to. Okay, this is the original line I drew, which is right up against the frame, top part of the frame of the house. Okay, now we have to allow for 1/4-inch Luan. So what I did is I backed it off about 3/4 of an inch. I started with a half. I said, well, I'll go 3/4 of an inch, because we need a little bit of clearance so that this thing don't bind up should it get damp or whatever. So what we're going to do now is we're going to nail in with number 6 from the bottom here. That's why I clamped it. This 2x4. Then after that, we're going to put this 2x3 in here after we get it trimmed. because there's going to be another 2x4 on the flat here, but it's going to be butted up against the edge because this is the shed side and this is where the hinges will go. So this will give me some good surface to put the hinges in. Here I didn't really need a 2x4. I didn't want to use up all my 2x4s that I had underneath storage underneath the shed. So this will work out just fine, and this will allow the 1/4" Luan, which I'm going to show you how it's going to go. This is a scrap piece I cut off the top here, but to give you an idea, this is going to go nailed in here like this, nailed in like this, and you can see now I still got, even with this in there, I still got about 3/8 of an inch. But that's what I want. I don't want it hugged right up tight. I only drew the original line that way, so it's a reference line. I need a little bit of clearance so that this top will have some movement so it doesn't bind up on me. So there'll be a piece here, there'll be another piece here, and there'll be another piece here. But these pieces will be 20 inches wide, and those are right now stored on the picnic table to get them out of my way. Alright, as you can see, I clamped these down. This is nailed already. I clamped these down and flip it over and put a couple nails in it, and then I take the clamps out, lay it on the flat, and finish nailing it to number 6. This is fastened in. I got to do the same over there. And the plywood goes in here. And before I can put the plywood in, I got to establish which parts of the plywood are going to have holes for ventilation, even though it's not going to go all the way to the bottom. It'll probably come down to about here. The whole cover will contain a 3-sided, it'll be a 3-sided cover with 3 sides on it. Okay, I got it laying here right now. Just to give you an idea of how it's going to be. Of course, it'll be hinged. The plywood will go on the inside of this 2x4, 2x3, and so forth on the 3 sides, and it'll still clear this frame here because the plywood will go down to the outside of the frame, and the hinges, the strap hinges, will be fastened here and down. The only thing I got to figure out how I'm going to keep the water from dripping off the drip edge up here from getting into here. It doesn't have to be, obviously we don't care if water gets in here, we just don't want it running on top of the generator. I'll have to trim this up. What I have to do here, the wood has been cut 20 inches, but on the 2 sides here I'm going to have to angle them because this has got a pitch here, obviously, of 5 degrees. So we're going to have the piece come straight across, but we'll have to taper it on the top part. But I'm not sure exactly where, because this is where the exhaust is, so I probably will not use a full 20-inch piece coming down here. I will use, because this is where the control panel is and the plugs and everything and circuit breakers are on, so there will be a full 20-inch piece coming down here. And on the back, I'll probably have a full 20-inch piece, but I'll have some ventilation in here. Okay, I put some of that oil-based Thompson's water seal I got from the local hardware store that I mentioned to you before when I was using it on my shed. Just on the Luan, on the bottom side. I'm not worried about the 2x4s. And when I turn it over, I'll do the top side. I'll put a couple of coats on the top side. So this will protect it. And when this dries, then I'll make up the sides. I probably won't get the sides today. I want to turn this over and I want to get 2 coats, at least 2 coats on the top side of this thing. This is 1 coat here, should be fine because no water's going to be getting underneath here. It'll just be dampness if anything. But the top part I want to get 2 coats on there, and probably some kind of a coating on it. I don't know, some kind of paint or something I'll probably put on it, oil base after that. Okay, this is all I can do today. I got only 1 coat on the back and the front, or the bottom and the top I should say. Rounded the corners off on the front part where you lift it up. We're going to let this dry good. I'm not going to attempt to work with wet paint here, trying to get the sides made up and everything. That'll have to go on a different day here. So anyways, that's all for now. we'll come back on this project, and well, not too long of a time. At least for you, it's only going to be a matter of a second or two. For me, it could be several days.